Alright guys, it's time to cover some Pale Rider gameplay from the live stream. Gonna go through it, talk about how you should play the character, how you should use your abilities, etc. Let's just go right at it. So, what you're gonna see on this map here a little bit, it seems like a good map for Pale Rider in general, but it's kind of not. All the objectives on this map are in really tight areas, which are very rough for Pale Rider, considering it's a mid to longish range hero. And it's gonna have a hard time flanking. Looking at this section here, you can't run across the bridge above where they're currently playing because it's too long range for a Pale Rider and it'll lose to certain characters like GM Sniper, Nashimar, and Renee Gundam, but you can't really do that much down here. The best option is to play on the right side of the rocks to the right of the screen where it looks like there's a little bit of an area that you can get an off angle on, but it's just not that good. There's like literally nowhere else for you to go. So stuck shooting at long range, and you don't, like, certain characters don't really want to off-angle too much. Pale Rider is all about flanking and all about off-angling because of its sustain and its mobility, and its ult, like, assisting with all that. But a character like Turning Gundam is okay with staying with your team, shooting in heavy damage shots from the core of it, or an RX-78 doing the same. But Pale Rider, if you have to do that, you should be playing another character than Pale Rider. Like, as you can see, the map gets a little bit wider, but there's nowhere else to go but in this area other than main range. And here is a clip of what the main section looks like from a GM Sniper's perspective. And as you can see, if a GM Sniper is losing to another GM Sniper, you can bet that a Pale Rider would definitely lose also. So back to the same section of the map. Here we have pathing from above. If the GM Sniper has been dealt with, or you have some sort of suppressing cover from above, this is definitely a good strategy. You can block off your angle from the main section, and here you're getting a little bit of an off angle. Just so everybody knows, an off angle is an angle off to the side, but also it can be an angle from above too, because going from above is also an off angle of sorts. Not quite as much in regards to off angling. It is its own angle, but it still allows extra pressure because there's certain spaces that they can't block themselves from your line of vision. So this is pretty solid. A little bit out of the range, but solid overall. I would like to see the Pale Rider moving up further up the bridge to get a side angle on this Sazabi and gun tank. You'll see this a couple times. The EMP grenade that he tossed here is absolutely worthless. The situations to use it are like 1 in 100 when you could just apply damage or throw a damaging grenade or drop your healing pod. It has no range on it, and the stun is the slow is very, very, very short. I don't even really know why it's in the game, to be honest. Dropping when you have high ground is a poor decision. There's no reason to go down there, hold that position. And so here you're going to see an example of what I was talking about, where you're going to have a hard time flanking as Pale Rider. So you're looking down range here, and yeah, you're doing value, you're doing damage. It's not like you're doing nothing. But if you're a Turning Gundam, if you're an RX-78 Gundam, if you're an Ashimar even, you're doing a lot more just by being with your team because you're outputting more damage. Because when you can't flank on Pale Rider, you're not getting the advantage that your character is supposed to play for. Like, yeah, there's sections on the side of the map that you could get a soft flank on, but you're still close to the enemy just by the map's design, so it's not that good. But if you are going to play Pale Rider, then you need to be flanking, regardless of the situation. So check through the cave to see what's there. Play on the right side. The rocks to the right of the cursor, you could probably sneak up there and get an off-angle pressure going on. And again, it's just because that angle makes it so the enemy can't see. The enemy can't hide themselves from both you and the angle down main, so they start taking a lot more damage. Getting 3 angles on the enemy, 1 down main, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, at about 45-ish degrees is how you win these long-distance engagements. This is a very good thing to do here, though. Pale Rider's heal pod heals himself, but also his teammates. And so throwing on a corner that your team is likely to play on when they need it, in addition to you too, is a good way to just add some extra beefiness. Considering there's not that much healing in the game. For example, in Overwatch, there's a lot of healing, so Soldier 76 using its healing pod to heal some of its teammates is not that good of an idea. But in this game, there's a lot less, so it's a lot more viable. It does heal quite a healthy amount. I believe it's like 200 per second, so it's a pretty solid amount. But yeah, it also can be destroyed, so you need to put it behind the corner and not throw your grenades into the wall. You do take damage from your own grenades. So as you can see here, 850 HP, Throws a grenade, does 150-ish damage to him. So be careful about damage from your own grenades. And then you get hooked and killed. And you need to be aware of where the Mara is if you're playing against one. Again, kind of hard to get the angle you want. It definitely seems like he's wasting... He's going in too early because he's kind of 1v2ing right now. And his team seems to be a little bit further back. But I bet you could also go position on top of these rocks here and get a nice amount of damage in there. Maybe not. Like I said, we don't have that much information about how the maps actually work, but there's got to be a way to... Well, there's got to be a better place to play than just straight in the middle of your team. But again, it's not that good of a situation. When you can play like even at Barbatos, jump over this wall on the left here and slam down onto those two. Just way more effective overall. And here you can see Pale Rider's options are to go stand on a low ground in the middle of the point or path up to the high ground above. High ground is better, like I talked about, but even that one is a really small corridor that it's hard to... it would be really easy for a Sazabi to stop a Pale Rider at, so it's just not that good of the map for it. So you got to pay attention to. Like if you want to one-trick it, if you want to do what you want, then just do what you will. And honestly, I'm personally an advocate of one-tricking a lot in game just because it helps you learn like the absolute maximums of your character. But if you're trying to climb ranked, you're trying to really have a lot of fun, I would just not advise it. But again, even here, just you got to find a way to provide pressure, and running around to the point and staring at the ceiling and freaking out is just not a strategy. Also, hip fire is terrible, especially jumping. Jumping in this game with hip fire is going to be even worse. It's pretty inaccurate as it is, but immediately jumps, look how big that is. It's huge. Jumping is a really bad habit in these sorts of games. It makes your movement really predictable. I talked about in my Sazabi video, my Sazabi live stream video here, that you don't want to be in the air because it makes you not able to move as quickly and as spontaneously. And it's the same thing for jumping. In addition to the fact that it makes your aim so inaccurate. And some characters can't even jump on it. Or some characters can't even shoot while they're jumping, like GM Sniper 2. Go and check out my Pale Rider video for more Pale Rider gameplay, abilities, and all the information you need for it, including when to play it and how to play it. Thanks for watching, guys. Y'all are totally awesome.